President Trump on Monday threatened to impose 200% tariffs on French wines if President Emmanuel Macron declined to join his proposed Board of Peace for Gaza. Let's listen.
Oh, did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costco, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join.
Trump also announced a 10% import tariff on all products from several European countries, including France, who have condemned his push to acquire Greenland.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will serve on the executive board to help stabilize daily life in Gaza. The White House said in a statement, each executive board member will oversee a defined portfolio of critical to Gaza's stabilization and long-term success, including but not limited to governance, capacity building, regional relations, reconstruction, investment attraction, large-scale funding, and capital mobilization.
According to Politico, Macron's office said the Board of Peace proposal, quote, goes beyond the framework of Gaza and raises serious questions, in particular with respect to the principles and structures of the United Nations, which cannot be called into question.
Countries invited to join the Board of Peace for Gaza include close U.S. allies such as Canada, Britain, and Saudi Arabia, as well as countries like Russia and Belarus. So far, the United Arab Emirates has publicly committed to joining the Peace Board. The New York Times reports that Argentine President Javier Milei and Prime Minister Viktor Orban of Hungary have also said they would be joining.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier because I just think it's the way that the president treats our allies. And I think even going to the economic forum and the way that he's threatening things there and our contentious relationship around Greenland, it all has to do with the way that if President Trump wants you to bend the knee and act submissively, then he's going to bully you into that behavior. And I think whether it's sending tariffs over to our allies in the past, like he's done to Canada, or what he's doing right now in France, it's all a problem for us. And the fact that he brought up Costco, a company that's now suing the administration for raising prices on consumers for tariffs that may or may not be seen as legal down the line, I think this is not a good one. We're about to tax champagne, right? We're going to drastically increase the price of champagne in the U.S. We're going to disrupt consumers. We're going to disrupt liquor stores and also cause people to perhaps lose jobs if they're filling their liquor stores with these more expensive things, then they can't pay the same price for the labor. And so with somebody who has a weak rating on the economy and jobs are not the best in this country and inflation is not the best, this move for the president is silly going into the midterms.
Well, we're about to find out if the tariffs that he does by executive decree are even constitutional. The Supreme Court is considering this right now. We don't know how they're going to rule. I think the president doing tariffs without Congress voting on it is unconstitutional, should be unconstitutional. I always say tariffs are just taxes. They're taxes on us. If we raise tariffs on French wines, that means they raise the price of the French wines, or it's on the domestic side that this cost is being paid. It's not that France has to pay more money to sell wine. It's that we have to pay more money receiving the wine. So you say it's punishing France, and it does punish them because we'll buy less wine, but Americans wanted to buy the wine, so it's really punishing Americans because we were the market for this product, which is why this whole tariff policy is so backward. It hurts the people who want to buy the good, which is Americans. So I'm not in favor of these policies. I hope they are ruled unconstitutional because it's rooting the entire economic paradigm that he wants to set up that he was bragging so much about. I was listening to Trump in the makeup room as we were getting ready. We were listening to what Trump was having to say in Davos about how great the economy is, and all right, man, a lot of Americans don't feel that way. It's manifesting a similar tone deafness, I think, to President Biden, who was insisting the economy was fine, even as so many Americans were telling him in polls that they didn't feel that way. So we'll see how that affects things. But again, this whole thing could be undone at a catastrophe because then they'll have to reimburse the affected companies. And Trump is very concerned about that prospect, saying, well, this is going to bankrupt us. Like, well, that was a good reason not to do it. Or to get Congress to do it. You have control of Congress. Just if you implement the policy vis-a-vis the actual legislative process, then it doesn't come under attack like this. But they just refuse to do it. So we'll see.
We can talk about this ad nauseum, but also offering the American public checks for the same amount that they're paying, that you're tariffing. It's like you're trying to make an answer to a problem that you created. And if the goal is long-term like stop depending on foreign
It's
nations.
just like Rube Goldberg device. I'm going to make it twice as much expensive for you to buy something, and then I'm
Pay you
going to
back
send you a
later.
check for the why. Just don't do it in the first place.
Next on Rising, I'll take a look back at the first year of President Trump's second term and how his record compares to his campaign promises. Stick around for my lens.